मैं हूं आपका होस्ट ऋषि. आप देख रहे हैं चैट विद छाबड़ा एंड आई एम बैक विद अ ब्रांड न्यू सीरीज ऑफ एपिसोड्स. We are now going to discuss the most awaited tournament of the year. That's correct. That time of the year, and the Indian Premier League, the 14th season is back in action. The first match starts on the April 9th. We have Mumbai Indians, the defending champions, taking on Royal Challengers Bangalore in Chennai. And जैसा कि आप सब जानते हैं, last year हमने ये किया था. We are back with 8 different episodes discussing all 8 IPL teams. And the team that we're discussing today is Rajasthan Royals. They were table bottom last year, 8th position at the points table. And we have 4 fans joining in us today. Well, let's see who we have. Sanchit, how are you today?
Good, Rishi. Very excited to be back on Bharat Army representing Rajasthan Royals and looking forward to the season.
Great. Good to have you back, buddy. I think we spoke to you last time as well during the IPL preview. It was good talking again. Like I said, good to have you back. And then we have Ronak joining in as well. How are you, Ronak?
Hi Rishi, pleasure being representing Bharat Army here and representing Rajasthan Royals. A good turnaround of 5 months from the last IPL to this IPL, so really happy to have some good cricket back.
Well, I think a very short time, to be upset that you ended bottom of the table. So not too much, to look back to the 2020 season. But yeah, a great 2021 season, hopefully coming up for the Rajasthan Royals. And then we have Upayan Bose joining us as well. How are you, buddy?
I'm Kolkata. I'm really excited to make my debut in this podcast today. Hope it goes well and hope the season for us lies ahead goes well as well.
Chaliye, and then we have Dinesh Babu, I believe. Yes, Dinesh, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, doing good. Hope everyone is doing good. So much excited about the start of the tournament. Not many years do we get a chance to replay the IPL within 3 or 4 months of finishing a previous IPL. So much excited. And right, so within 3 or 4 months we can turn things around. So hopefully.
Absolutely. I think, new season, new IPL season, new year. I'm sure a lot is going to change in the points table. A lot is going to change on field as well. And change की अगर हम बात करें तो इस साल राजस्थान रॉयल्स ने बहुत कुछ चेंज किया है. राजस्थान की हम बात करेंगे तो सबसे पहले लेट्स हैव अ लुक एट सम ओवरव्यू ऑफ द स्टैट्स फ्रॉम द राजस्थान रॉयल्स साइड and let's see what we have on the stats from the Rajasthan team. Okay, 164 matches they played, they won 81. So a good approximate 50% win ratio. They only won the trophy once. एक ही बार जीते हैं IPL trophy back in 2008 जो opening season था. Shane Warne was the captain then. And last season जैसे कि मैंने आप सबको बोला they finished 8th in the points table. The foreign players that we have: Ben Stokes, Chris Morris, Andrew Tye, Jofra Archer, Mustafizur Rahman, David Miller, Liam, and Josh Butler. And the big change this year: Sanju Samson will be the captain of the Rajasthan Royal team. कप्तानी में बदलाव आया है तो कितना इफेक्टिव रहेगा? विकेट कीपर बैट्समैन है. लास्ट ईयर तो बहुत अच्छा चले थे इनिशियली, बट क्या होगा इस साल? we'll look into that. And the other players to watch out, I believe Rahul and Kartik Tyagi. So these 2 players that we will definitely look forward to in the tournament. We saw Rahul Tewatia play some really good knocks last year. Chaliye, let's go back and talk to our fans. Ron, a quick question. Table bottom last year, you guys started pretty well. बहुत ही solid start मिला था आपको last year. But, the team couldn't convert into a big start and then go to the playoffs and then qualify for the finals. Where do you think you went wrong last year?
So yes, we started off very well, the 2 wins at Sharjah, but I think the major problem last year was the management taking a lot of decisions in every match, keeping on chopping and changing the batting order, getting Stokes to open, doing a lot of different things where we could have just followed one mindset, one order, included some stability, but that didn't happen. Again, our batting again was not that great because Sanju Samson was the highest run scorer for us and he scored only 375 runs. Normally in a good IPL season, any player, a 400 run is a minimum benchmark, and here if the highest scorer is only 375, the batting, it clearly showed that the batting wasn't doing great. Our death bowling again was a worry where Jofra Archer was the only bowler who was looking good, and the second highest wicket taker was only 10 wickets. So a lot of things with respect to changes in the lineup. There was no stability, and our key star players, Butler, Stokes, Smith, none of them performed. So a lot of things going wrong. But I think this season we have covered some of those bases as well.
Absolutely, but I think when you talk about Jofra Archer, I would like to come to you, Sanchit. He's unavailable for the first few games of the IPL. We've heard a unique incident that's happened. He cut his finger while dropping his aquarium into the washroom. Something unique that happened here. But how badly are you guys going to miss Jofra Archer in the upcoming IPL?
Well, first of all, fish tanks are not going to be very popular in Rajasthan for a lot of time, I think. Just,
Okay.
Jofra is a big miss, and we have seen his impact in the last 2-3 years or so. He's been actually arguably the best bowler in the IPL, especially in the power play. His impact was really immense, and to replace the only good bowler that we had in the last season, it's going to be really difficult. But I really like that this season we have a whole new combination of playing 11. We are sacrificing Steve Smith's position to fill in that position with the overseas bowler. I think that's a remarkable move, and I think a good side will always have two overseas bowler leading their attack, and we have seen that in the likes of Mumbai Indians having Trent Bolt and McClanahan in the times when they were successful back in 2015. So I believe that two overseas bowler is actually a good formula to have, especially when you have a weak Indian core. That is the case with Rajasthan Royals. So I think losing Archer is a big miss, but I believe that someone like Andrew Tye, who has recently increased his pace in the last couple of months or so, could be turn out to be really handy to partner with Chris Morris, the returning Royal from 2015.
Yes, I see Chris Morris has made a comeback into the Rajasthan team. But एक बहुत ही interesting नाम जो Rajasthan team के साथ इस बार जुड़ रहा है, I think. Shivam Dube, like you said, a fast bowler. So, Dinesh, next question is with you. Do you think, Jofra Archer missing a few games would not really impact, and you have the arsenal in the fast bowling department to cover up that part of the missing puzzle?
Yeah, actually, we've got some good set of players who are actually in the squad, be it Andrew Tye or be it Mr. Rahman. I think it's a big miss. It's going to be a big miss. I'm not going to argue that it's not going to be a miss of Archer because, he's a three-dimensional player. He bowls well. He is actually very good in the death bowling. He fields well, and he actually is a big pinch hitter. But knowingly, fortunately or unfortunately, we were able to get Chris Morris. We were not aware that this would happen. We were not aware of this tank massacre would happen. So luckily, we had got Chris Morris. So the way ahead that I would say is to split the responsibilities of Jofra Archer and to give the responsibilities split between the players. Say, for an instance, if it's going to be the first 2 overs of power play that had to be bowled by a bowler, it could be Chris Morris or it could be an Andrew Tye or it could be a Mustafizur. So if it's going to be a partnership breaker needed in between the overs 14 to 16, then it would be someone like Chetan Sakaria or Karthik Tyagi. And if it is going to be a death over bowling, then it could be the responsibilities could be split between Andrew Tye or Mustafizur Rahman. So it's all about how you manage the workload, how you manage the missing workload, which is actually going to be given by Jofra Archer in his presence. And when you are going to have him absent in the team, then you need to split the workload and manage the players wisely. So that's what I would like to see from Rajasthan Royals this time.
Absolutely, and I think IPL जो है बहुत ही लंबा tournament होता है. So a lot of teams, focus on how do they manage their workload of the players, because now that you don't travel, but there's a bubble fatigue, and you have to stay into isolation, you have to stay into quarantine before you start the IPL. चलिए Ronak, coming back to you, Sanju Samson has been given the captaincy for this season. Do you think he's going to be able to live up to that responsibility, the role, or you think they should have gone with someone else in this department?
So at least with captaincy, I think the most experienced Indian player we have is Sanju Samson. He has currently led the Kerala team as well in the domestic competition.
Absolutely.
So as a choice, I completely agree with giving the captaincy to Sanju Samson. It is going to be a big test for him because you see his role or his position in the Indian team as well. You have Rishabh Pant who's captaining Delhi Capitals and is doing amazingly well for India. Lokesh Rahul is doing exceptionally well for India. in the limited opportunity that Ishan Kishan got, he has done really well. So Sanju Samson himself has gone below the pecking order in terms of his India spot. So I think this is a fantastic opportunity for him to not only perform as a batsman but also perform as a captain and bring him back in the Indian circuit as well. So I hope he does well. The good thing is that he doesn't lose. We don't lose a overseas spot, overseas captaincy spot that we had with Smith last year. I just hope that he's as aggressive as a batsman he is in his captaincy, and I think that should bode well for him.
आई थिंक वेरी वैलिड पॉइंट देयर रौनक बिकॉज बहुत सी आईपीएल टीम जो होती हैं वो एक पॉइंट भूल जाती हैं कि यू नो कहीं वो एक पॉइंट मिस हो जाता है कि 4 फॉरेन प्लेयर्स हो सकते हैं. अगर आप उसमें एक अपना कप्तान पिक करते हैं तो आई थिंक वो बाकी के जो 3 स्पॉट्स होते हैं वो फिर पिक करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है. देन यू हैव टू डेफिनेटली गो विद 1 फॉरेन प्लेयर. चलिए बात अगर हो रही है 4 फॉरेन खिलाड़ियों की तो क्विक क्वेश्चन नेक्स्ट इज whoever wants to take it, which 4 players do you feel should be in the team for the first few games? Sanchit, if you want to go for this.
Well, it has to be Josh Butler, Ben Stokes, Andrew Tye, and Chris Morris for the first few games.
Okay, and don't you see Mustafizur Rahman, given the experience that he has with the Mumbai Indians squad, and the experience that he's an Asian fast bowler, do you think it's going to be helping him or not at the moment? You don't see him into the playing 11?
Well, certainly Mustafizur Rahman is a great squad addition to the side, especially with the side that is struggling with bowling options. But I believe that Andrew Tye has been having a couple of good months recently in the BBL as well, and with his increase of pace has been working very well for him. And since we are going to play on a track like Mumbai where it favors the batsman massively, I believe the change of pace, the variations that Andrew Tye has would certainly help us when he partners with someone like Chris Morris at the death. So I would actually start off with Andrew Tye and then maybe bring in Mustafizur when we are playing on a slower surfaces as the tournament progresses.
I think very valid point there because इस साल जो हो रहा है बहुत ही यूनिक सिचुएशन है. कोई भी टीम अपने घर पे कोई मैचेस नहीं खेलने वाली. सो आई थिंक जो स्ट्रैटेजी थी ना, जो ऑक्शन रूम में बैठ के, जो ऑक्शन रूम के पहले बैठ के जो स्ट्रैटेजीज बनाई थी टीम ने, आई थिंक दे वर ऑल थ्रोन आउट ऑफ द विंडो द मोमेंट दे गॉट टू नो कि चलिए होम एडवांटेज होने नहीं वाला है किसी टीम के पास. बट अगर हम होम एडवांटेज की बात करते हैं तो अ टीम लाइक राजस्थान रॉयल हैज ऑलवेज relied on their home pitches, be it in Jaipur or any other city that they play in. Players like Rahul Tewatia and all have been very, helpful in such pitches. Rahul Tewatia की अगर हम बात करें last IPL season में he performed really well. So Dinesh, do you see a similar kind of a performance coming in again and Rahul Tewatia winning some games for you guys from nowhere?
Absolutely. He has shown what he is capable of in the last season. And that has come when Rahul Tewatia is not known much to the outer world, and him being known to the cricketing fraternity now, and with the kind of responsibility that is taken up in his shoulders from the last season, I think he is just going to win matches this season as well. Mark my words, there are going to be a few matches that he is just going to win for Rajasthan Royals, not just in batting but also in bowling. Not to forget, whenever we talk about Rahul Tewatia, all that comes to mind is the innings that he played against Kings XI Punjab and 5 sixes that he hit off. But other than that, there have been a few performances where he had actually won matches with his bowling, be it the match against CSK where he had taken 3 wickets. So he's actually a big value addition, big Indian value addition when it comes to the Rajasthan Royals squad, and very sure, very optimistic that is going to win matches with all the 3 dimensions of the game, be it bowling, batting and fielding. And yes, this year is going to be a big tournament for him because he is just going to be watched by a lot of people, from being nowhere in the last season to being a Rahul Tewatia who is actually expected a lot in the season. We all are expecting him to make this season.
Well, I'm sure, like I said, जैसे कि मैंने बोला बहुत लंबा टूर्नामेंट है, so players को definitely chance मिलेगा to find their form and to perform for their team. बात करते हैं कुछ young guns की जो कि राजस्थान रॉयल्स की टीम में है. एक नाम जो आता है यशस्वी जायसवाल का, because he's played a lot of his cricket for Mumbai. He's a Mumbai guy, and we saw what he can do into the under 19 level, what he did, the way he performed. Ronak, coming to you. How important do you think this IPL is going to be for the young guns like Priyan Garg and Yashasvi Jaiswal?
Very important. I think Jaiswal last year didn't perform as per expectations. He got his chances, but he didn't do well in those. I think for us, Parag is something that we need to look at, and we need to ensure that his finishing abilities are improved and he produces those knocks consistently. I mean, Parag can win you 1 or 2 matches, but he needs to prove that he can be the season game changer for us at number 6. With respect to Jaiswal, I personally feel that Manan Vora should be played instead of him, because Jaiswal, he hasn't had a good Vijay Hazare trophy as well. He's just had 150 and he was completely overshadowed by Prithvi Shaw. On the other hand, Manan Vora, he captained Chandigarh. He had good scores of around 85 in the Syed Mushtaq Ali tournament. He had 100 as well in the Vijay Hazare tournament. So he's in a comparatively better form. At 27 years old, he has that experience as well. So from the youngsters' point of view, I see at least Vora joining in the opening partnership, and I would love to see more of Parag, not being that one match wonder, but consistently performing for us, not only with the bat but also with the limited chances he gets with the ball.
Okay, चलिए संचित, quickly coming to you. बात तो कर ली हमने कुछ young guns की, captain की, stats की. Who do you think should be keeping the wickets? क्योंकि जैसे कि बहुत लोग बोल रहे हैं कि Josh Butler will play, so Butler keeping wickets, or do you think Sanju Samson should give away the responsibility and focus more on the overall game that's happening?
I think Sanju Samson should be the one keeping the wickets, because as we know that he is the captain, and there is no better view than the view of a wicketkeeper. Wicketkeeper always has an immersive view of what's happening on the field. So I believe Sanju Samson should be the wicketkeeper, as he could control what is going on the field, and it is actually good for him as also, because let's face it, Sanju Samson has dropped below the pecking order for the place in the Indian squad. So if he could have a great season as a wicket-keeping batsman who scores consistently well, then it could be him knocking on at the doors of the Indian cricket team once again. So I believe wicket-keeper should be the best position for him in this season.
But यार आपको कहीं लगता है कि players like Ishan Kishan, who's made an impact in the game that he played, we have player like Rishabh Pant in the waiting, we have a player like KL Rahul. Obviously Sanju Samson has got his chances, but he's not capitalized on it. I'm not saying he's got chances on a regular basis, but इधर उधर कहीं ना कहीं उनको chances मिले हैं. तो आपको लगता है कि captaincy का added pressure कहीं उनकी performance affect कर सकता है in the future?
कर सकता है, surely, but the other way of looking at things is maybe captaincy could bring out the best in him, as we have seen in the past when Rohit Sharma was made the captain in 2013. He completely changed his career around, and we have seen many such cases in the domestic circuit as well. So I believe that yeah, exactly, MS Dhoni himself, that triumph in 2007. Yes, so I believe at the age that Sanju Samson is currently, the captaincy move would actually work in his favor, because he is neither young nor too old. So this is actually the perfect time for Sanju Samson to kickstart his career once again, and the captaincy will surely bring out the best in him. But we as Rajasthan Royals fans have to be patient in this process. We cannot expect results right from the first season as well. So we have to trust the process. We have to see what Sanju Samson and Sangakkara, the partnership between both of them, do for us over the 2-3 years as we look to rebuild the Royals that we were in the past.
Absolutely. I think, जो first season Rajasthan Royal के लिए धमाकेदार season. The other day I was watching the 2008 IPL final, and it was an amazing rewind match to watch. The way Yusuf Pathan, played that knock of 56, I believe, and then obviously Shane Warne winning it in the end for Rajasthan Royals. But that kind of impact we've seen missing. We've seen big guns in the Rajasthan Royal management. We've seen them on the bench. We've seen them support staff में रहते हैं. Ronak, coming to you, do you think Rajasthan have the right approach this season, that they can back the players from the dressing room and give them the right support and guidance?
They should, because this was missing last year. Because when you saw in Steve Smith's captaincy as well, when players like Unadkat and Tyagi were going for runs, there was no support given to the bowlers, and they were left on their own. The management themselves weren't sure of what combination to play. With Sangakkara coming in as a director of cricket, I think that will be a massive boost, because he's that kind of a player, that kind of a person who likes to do the right thing but not be at the forefront, and that is something that we want right now. I think we have got a very good squad. If you look at our team as well, we have got a lot of hard-hitting all-rounders in Stokes, Morris, Dubey, Tewatia. All of them can change the game at any moment. So we have the right squad.
Yes.
It is all about backing the captain, backing the right combination, and ensuring that the young guns, especially people like Tyagi, Parag, are given the right guidance whenever needed. So I am confident with the change of management, with the change of captaincy, that we will definitely qualify at least in the top 4.
Well, hopefully, things will change for Rajasthan Royal this season. Dinesh, a quick question आपसे. हमने बेन स्टोक्स की जादुई इनिंग्स देखी थी 2019 में. The way he won that World Cup for England, and then obviously the way he won that Test match for England in the Ashes series. We've actually, missed that Ben Stokes magic in the Test series in India. We haven't got to see that, in the limited overs cricket as well. एक मैच छोड़ के उन्होंने जो परफॉर्मेंस दी थी उसके अलावा कोई परफॉर्मेंस नहीं आई. How important do you think it is for Ben Stokes to get back into form and perform for Rajasthan Royals?
It is very important to have Ben Stokes be in this purple patch, because without that happening, I think it's really hard to think about winning the match in 3 aspects of the game, be it fielding, bowling, or batting. And Ben Stokes, as you mentioned, he has won the World Cup single-handedly almost in the final match, and the single-handed win that he had in the Ashes. If you look at that, he had been match winner in the middle order, but that had not been happening in the Rajasthan Royals in the last season. Something was not so clear in the last season that he was actually made to open. And I mean, I don't think it's a very bad option, but keeping in mind that the middle order was so volatile and so fragile last season, Ben Stokes should have been there in the middle order, which didn't happen. And but England had been wisely using him. I agree to the fact that he has not been in a big touch in the recently concluded series against India. But the 99 that he had got had actually given a strong message that if he gets going, then he is really, really tough. He's a tough force to be stopped. So that gives a message. So Rajasthan Royals would have taken a message from that, and he need to be set the responsibility. A team management has to set what the team is actually expecting of him. Rather than him being promoted up the order and shuffling back to the middle order and asking him to be a finisher. Rather than that being happening, I just want him to be set with some target or some responsibilities, and he need to make sure that he abides by it, and he needs to make sure that he plays accordingly. So he is a 3-dimensional player, as I told. He actually gets wickets. He bowls the slower balls, and even in the power play, he gets wickets. So it is very important that he rises up to the occasion. Hopefully, he gets going with the same touch that he had got on the match that he got 99. And when he gets going, I'm very sure he's just going to take us to the final match, as he did for the Rising Pune Super Giants 3 years back.
Absolutely. Well, I think that 99 was one amazing inning that I saw. चलिए बेन स्टोक्स की बात तो हो गई. आपने बोला उनको लास्ट सीजन में ओपनिंग कराई गई थी. संचित, क्विकली नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. यार ओपनिंग स्लॉट क्या लगता है राजस्थान? Who should they go with as their opening partner? Which 2 players?
Well, to be honest, since the last few games in the last season, I am actually in a bit of dilemma whether to play Ben Stokes at the top of the order or whether to shift him back into the middle order. But given the context of this situation, given that we are playing in Mumbai for the first 5 games, we have to play our best player at the top of the order, and that is Jos Buttler, because we have seen what he could do on pitches like Mumbai. We have seen that happen in 2018 and 2019, where he scored those magnificent 80-plus runs to get us over the line against the Mumbai Indians. So I believe we should play to our strengths, and Jos Buttler is always dangerous when he's opening the innings for us. And for this season, I would actually start off with Buttler and Manan Vora at the top of the order, and maybe Sanju Samson coming in at number 3, playing that anchor innings.
Okay.
Because to have, and as far as the expectations of Ben Stokes goes, I really hope that he brings his A game like he did in 2017 for Rising Pune Super Giants, and I certainly believe that this could be the year for him.
Absolutely. I think, we all see that hunger in Ben Stokes that he wants to perform at every level. Chaliye, 1, 2 and 3 to aapne bol diye. Ronak, do you agree with Sanchit's choice, Manan Vora and Buttler opening, and then Sanju Samson coming 1 down? Do you think that's a good move?
That's a good move. I don't know whether the RR management will do that, but In that case, Stokes will come at number 4. Either way, if Stokes opens the batting, Butler comes at 4. So I think Stokes and Butler's positions are interchangeable, and that again depends on the management. So Bora at opening the batting for sure, because we need some experienced opener to give us the start. He's been in good form, and I think losing out Robin Uthappa this season has been sort of a bad decision in hindsight, because he's also been in good form recently. So I think Manan Vora opens with Stokes or Butler, followed by Samson, followed by again either Stokes or Butler. And I think 5, 6, 7 are the most critical position for us, because those are occupied by Indian batsmen. Not so experienced Indian batsmen, but hard-hitting players like Dubey, Parag, and Tewatia. So I think a big opportunity lies for them to shoulder this responsibility and take the team and close games for us, basically. And not only while chasing, but even while batting first. So I would go with Vora, Butler,
So Vora, Butler, and then Sanju Samson coming in, and then you said Ben Stokes at number 4, and then you have said 5, 6, 7 should be Rahul Tewatia, and then Ryan Parag, and one name that you took.
Shivam
Dubey. Perfect. So Shivam Dubey can be your all-rounder as well, and then you have Ben Stokes as your all-rounder. Rahul Tewatia can bring in some overs as well, 4 overs. Chaliye, last question जो मेरा best team selection से है. Dinesh, could you please tell me what would be your 4 bowlers pick, the last 4? 8, 9, 10, 11.
It's going to be 2 combinations that I would like to say. One is Chris Morris and Mustafizur Rahman. And if Mustafizur Rahman is going to make it, then I don't think there will be a Jaydev Unadkat into a squad, because Jaydev Unadkat and Mustafizur are both left-arm seamers who are actually good at cutters. So having 2 bowlers in the squad will be actually going predictable to the opponent's case. So when these 2 bowlers are in, then I think Mayank Markande and KC Karyappa would be making it. The next combination that I would take is Chris Morris, and if it's not Mustafizur Rahman, it would be Andrew Tye. And in that case, I would like to bring in Chetan Sakaria or Jaydev Unadkat, and Mayank Markande and Shreyas Gopal. Shreyas Gopal and KC Karyappa. So the reason why I say KC Karyappa is that is actually a mystery spinner. So recent times we have seen Varun Chakravarti being unpredictable, and he has been amongst wickets. And Sunil Narine is a big example of how good he is being a mystery spinner. So I just want to see the same from him. And since Rahul Tewatia is there in the squad, you cannot have more than 2 leg spinners in the squad. So having Markande and Gopal both in the same team would actually have 3 spinners, 3 leg spinners, 3 similar kind of leg spinners in the squad. So I don't want variety in the squad.
But I think, that's where, like you said, Mayank Markande misses out. But we definitely saw what he did for the Mumbai Indians in the previous seasons. I think he was a very good buy for Mumbai Indians. Also, जैसा कि रौनक ने बोला, I think they let go of Robin Uthappa. Robin Uthappa कहाँ गए हैं? Chennai Super Kings के पास. And we have seen in the past that MS Dhoni, has a thing of bringing players from Rajasthan Royals. Chennai Super King bought Ravindra Jadeja as well. So do you think, Sanchit, that is going to be a bad move by not picking up Robin Uthappa, or do you think it's okay to let him go and play for another IPL team?
Well, the opening spot has always been a point of concern for us in the last season, and losing Robin Uthappa actually baffled me. I was actually a bit disappointed by the Rajasthan Royals team that we had let go of Robin Uthappa, especially having our opening spot still not fixed, even the 9 days before the IPL. So it's actually a bad move, and I really, as a cricket fan, I really hope that it works out with Robin Uthappa at CSK, because we know how Dhoni does well with his management skill. So we would certainly bring out the best in him at CSK camp, but hopefully not against us in the
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be fun. Now, talking about your first game, राजस्थान अपना पहला मुकाबला खेलेंगी पंजाब किंग्स के साथ. Not Kings 11 Punjab anymore, but Punjab Kings. How important do you think that game is going to be? Dinesh, if you can take that question for me. How important do you think, is to start the IPL season with a bang and win the first few games?
That is very important. The first game being very important The reason why I say is that that's where the tempo, you set the tempo. And Jofra Archer missing the first few games, you need to find the answers as soon as possible. You need to find out who your playing 11 should be and how good you're going to manage the workload of Jofra Archer from the others. So it's going to be very important. And also Punjab Kings, PBKs are actually a rejuvenated side. Because the last season, the last 7 games they had played, and had they played 50% of what they had played in the first 7, they would have actually gone to the finals. And I was very sure about it. But that didn't happen. And their names have been changed. And I see the certain rejuvenation in the squad. And starting things positively with a victory is actually a bigger aspect of the tournament that had been happening for Rajasthan Royals. But if you look at the last tournament as well, the first 2 matches were a big victories in Rajasthan Royals aspect. But that didn't go on the next few games. So hopefully, when we start with a victory, that would actually clear a lot of questions being asked in Jofra Archer's absence. And even if you're not getting answers for the questions, you can try out your options in the next few games. I mean, game number 2, game number 3, and game number 4. So first game is going to be very crucial. Be it winning it or be it not winning it, you're just going to have some answers, or you're just going to have who should be playing and who should not be playing. So that game which you're going to play first is going to be very, very crucial, because you're going to get your answers for the questions of absence of Jofra Archer.
Well, like you said, winning the games initially is very important, because we saw that with Punjab team last season, how they needed to win 7 games in a row. And had they won that last game against Chennai Super Kings, they would have made it to the playoffs, almost to the playoffs. And who knows, they might have won the trophy as well. But again, cricket and ifs and buts are like 2 sides of the coins. You can't really separate that. But Sanchit, coming to you, like you said, 5 games in Mumbai, how important do you think is going to be, pick up the right combination and then win those games in Mumbai?
Massively.
No home advantage for any team. So do you think it's going to be an even out competition for all the teams out there?
Massively important for us to find the right combination in the first 5 games. But I believe that we have been blessed with the kind of fixtures that we got initially, because playing first 5 games in Mumbai is certainly what Rajasthan Royals would have wanted, especially with the way how we played in Mumbai since our comeback in 2018. So it is very important for us to get the right combination running. And as a Rajasthan Royals fan, I would certainly expect us to make the most of this situation, because, mind you, in the last phases of the season, we are going to be playing in Bangalore and then Kolkata, where somehow we don't find it enjoying. We have always have a terrible record at Eden Gardens against KKR, so we don't want things to go till that extent. So I believe we should make the most of the matches at Mumbai, because this team that we have actually suits the kind of pitches Wankhede has to offer, and someone like Ben Stokes with the ball and Butler at the top of the order would certainly enjoy playing at the Wankhede. So I would really like us to see get us those big wins in the first initial game. Mind you, they're going to be very difficult with the oppositions that we have at Wankhede. So we really need to be on our A game. And the first game against Punjab, a rejuvenated side with a whole new identity. I hope it doesn't work for them like it did for Delhi Capitals, where they changed the name and then went on to the finals. So it really is going to be an interesting approach from us, and I really hope that we make the best use of it.
Absolutely. I think, like we had in 2020, no home advantage for any team. Obviously, I mean, you get to pick your own pitch and everything, but कोई home advantage नहीं होने वाला है इस बार भी किसी IPL team के पास. Ronak, coming to you, which other teams other than Rajasthan Royal do you think will be qualifying for the top 4? Your top 4 pick?
Obviously, besides Rajasthan Royals, I see KKR doing well this season. They have got a good core. I see Mumbai Indians, as always, performing as they do, giving a run for their money for every opponent. So KKR, Mumbai, and I guess SRH will be a dark horse, given the fact that they've got the right mix of young Indian players as well as international stars. I think all of them are peaking at the moment. So I see KKR, Mumbai Indians, SRH, along with hopefully Rajasthan Royals in the top 4. I was hoping for DC, but I think Shreyas Iyer out of the equation hampers it a little bit, even though Rishabh Pant might be a very good captain, but their combination changes. They might have to play Steve Smith. They might have to play Rahane because Iyer is not there. So that just changes that combination. Plus, Nokia and Rabada won't be there for the first 3-4 matches.
Sure.
So that again
Games,
is a big
yes.
worry. So DC unfortunately goes out because of that.
So Delhi Capitals में जो replacement आएंगे हमारे श्रेयस अय्यर के लिए, both coming out of Rajasthan Royals as well, so that's going to be interesting. Okay, well, Ronak, last question before we end this session with you. Your finalist for this season. Do you think Rajasthan Royal will make it to the finals and win the trophy?
I would like to say yes. It's a long shot coming from number 8 to number 1 in a matter of 5 months. I think if that happens, it is going to be like much bigger than the 2008 victory, not only for the team but also personally for Sanju Samson, because he would have just turned around the entire team with his captaincy and hopefully with the bat as well. It's a difficult call to make whether we'll reach the finals or not, but at this moment, if a top 4 position is something I'm really hopeful for, and I think after that it's just a matter of who performs well on that day. If I had to pick a team to face RR maybe in the final, I would look at Mumbai Indians.
यार एक और मुंबई इंडियन फाइनल्स. I mean, why would you want to pick a Mumbai final? Because I feel the moment Mumbai Indians enter a final, they are a different team altogether. They are just unbeatable in the finals. So would you really want to play Mumbai Indians in the finals? I think we lost Ronak there. Okay, Sanjay, चलिए आप के last के 4 pick. Quickly tell me your top 4 pick for this season.
Well, being biased, I would certainly go with Rajasthan Royals as one of the top 4. And it is honestly, it is very difficult to predict who is going to be in the top 4. But judging by the squad and the morale of the teams that is going on, I believe SRH is going to be one of the dark horses. And Mumbai Indians, they have always been a very amazing in the last couple of seasons. And for the last spot, it's actually I'm a bit dicey between KKR and Punjab. But judging by the experience, and maybe it could be the last season for him. So I would definitely want CSK to be in the top 4 just for the legacy of Dhoni. And as far as the finalists are concerned, as a Rajasthan Royals fan living in Mumbai, I would really like to see Rajasthan Royals face Mumbai in the final at Ahmedabad, and hopefully the trend of beating the Mumbai Indians out of nowhere continues in the final as well.
Well, yeah, long shot, but again, I see another fan picking Mumbai Rajasthan finals. Well, hopefully, time will tell क्या होता है. चलिए दिनेश, quickly ending this session with you. Your pick for the top 4 and your top 2 teams.
Obviously, Rajasthan Royals is going to be at the playoffs. As a Rajasthan fan, I need to say that. So Rajasthan Royals, SRH for the kind of combination they have, and it's going to be Mumbai Indians and CSK. And the finalists are going to be Rajasthan Royals and CSK. And that the reason why I say that is going back to 2009, where Royal Challengers Bangalore and Deccan Chargers,
they will top bottoms.
Yeah, I mean, for the first season where Rajasthan Royals had won, they were at number 7 and number 8. And the very next season, 2009, they had been the finalists. And number 8 position team, that is, Deccan Chargers, actually won the match. Won the tournament. Okay. So having that here, the table 8 position Rajasthan Royals will be expected to win against the 7th position team, that is CSK of the last season. So that goes by the trend, and that's what I wish to see.
Perfect. Well, only time will tell who will make it to the playoffs or finals, but I'm definitely sure that we're going to get a lot of dhamakedar cricket coming out of the IPL 2021. Guys, before I end, I forgot to ask Ronak your pick, top performer for Rajasthan this season.
Top performer for Rajasthan, I think Chris Morris. I think he will live up to the price tag, Chris Morris.
And purple or orange cap winners, anyone coming from Rajasthan?
As long as it's a team performance, I don't care about the purple cap or the orange cap. Everyone, if they get a 400, 500 run season, I think that would work.
Okay, Sanchit, your pick, top performer, purple and orange cap?
Top performer, I would actually like to go in with a dark horse, that is Riyan Parag. I really want him to have a career-defining season for him. I really like that guy and really hope that he turns up for us. And as far as the orange cap and purple cap are concerned, as Ronak said, I really don't mind our player winning it as long as we qualify for the playoffs. But for the team's context, I would really like to see Sanju Samson being one of the holders of the in one of the contender of the orange cap and purple cap. I'm not sure whether to expect a Rajasthan Royals bowler or not, but I would really like to see someone like Chris Morris being in the run for the purple cap.
Perfect. And Dinesh, your pick for the top performer, and who do you think किसके पास जाएगी purple या orange cap team में से?
The top performer for Rajasthan Royals, I would like to see, is Josh Butler. And orange cap, I mean, the contender for orange cap would be Josh Butler himself, because when he opens the innings for Rajasthan Royals, then he would be amongst runs for sure. When he keeps going, it's tough to stop him. So the orange cap holder, I mean, Jofra Archer missing out the first few games, that actually puts him out of question for this point of time. So I would like to go with Chris Morris, being his stand-in Jofra Archer now. He is the stand-in player for Jofra Archer now. So I'd be happy if Chris Morris would be able to have that purple cap, or even if Jofra Archer in his last 6 or 7 matches would be able to.
Well, you never know. Exactly.
That's a game.
But I think, big shoes for Chris Morris to fill in if Jofra Archer is not there. We're not really sure how long he'll be away, but hopefully at some point of time he will join the Rajasthan Royal camp. Well, guys, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आज हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए. This brings us to the end of the first preview show, Rajasthan Royal. We started with Rajasthan Royal. Like I said, thank you so much for joining us today. Guys, to all the fans joining us today on YouTube, Facebook and Instagram, we will be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. again. We have another team that will be joining us, fans from another team. And like I said, we will be doing this for all 8 teams. Do make sure that you put in your comments, whatever questions you have or whatever points you have to make about Rajasthan Royals, kahan tak wo pahunchegi, who will be the top performer. And make sure that you tune in at 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time tomorrow, and we will be discussing another IPL team. Till then, take care.